Hey everyone, welcome back to Behind the Bar with HBIC. I am the head bum in charge, and I am back in my home bar, and I am going to do for you another classic cocktail. Thursday, February 22nd, it's National Margarita Day, one of my favorite days of the year. So we're going to be doing a classic margarita. Now, some people, like when they do classic margaritas, they do them a variety of ways. They buy the mix, they got the frozen machines like the Margaritaville. I like a classic straight up margarita, rocks, no salt. I mean, you can do the salt and everything if that's what you like. But yeah, Thursday, February 22nd, every February 22nd, National Margarita. So let's go and I'm going to show you guys how I make my house margarita. First thing is just get yourself a nice classic Blanco. Doesn't have to be anything too fancy. I'm going to use the G4 Blanco here. Anything around like that $30, $40 range is pretty good. There's a lot of higher end tequilas that are usually for sipping, but if you want to use those for a margarita, that's more than fine, depending how fancy you want to go. I just don't recommend using anything like Jose Cuervo or something like Casadores or those lower priced tequilas can definitely put a damper on your margarita. So get yourself this moderately priced tequila, and that's how we'll start. Second thing, as I mentioned, if you guys watch my hurricane video, I hate using pre-made shit. I do all fresh citruses. So I already have some lime juice squeezed, and I'm telling you, like, you might be tempted. It's margarita day. You worked all day maybe, and you want to just have some, and you're tempted to go out and buy the 1800 or the Cuervo mix or whatever they have at your local grocery store or liquor store. Put the extra time in and squeeze some limes. It's going to make a world of a difference, and it will actually help with your hangover, because the more you put with those sugars, with those mixes, the worse you're going to feel in the morning. If you have fresh citrus juice and you do it the right way, you could have a few margaritas, get a nice buzz in the morning. You're not going to feel as bad. So that's my recommendation to you. If you get limes, sometimes you get lucky and you get, the big boys like this. If you find like anything like bigger than a golf ball, like that's a good size lime. But these almost the size of a tennis ball, to be honest with you. So when they get in season, you'll try to find the bigger ones like that. So I've already squeezed some lime juice in my nice little hand press here. And I usually, if you want to do a couple rounds, about a dozen limes, depending on the size of them. If you're doing for a big batch group, maybe more than like about 4 or 5 people, get yourself about maybe the 30 limes. At least 2 dozen. But usually if you're having, you and your significant other, you're home, you want a couple margs, about a dozen limes can get you through relatively easy. So I already squeezed some of the lime juice here. And as I mentioned to you guys on the last episode, always make sure you strain your citruses. So we got our mesh here, and we're just going to take that lime juice, and you can see here you got all of that gunk from the pulp and everything from the lime. So we just we want to get rid of that. So, and then what I usually do is I have squeeze bottles. These are great for just keeping out the measurements. So we'll pour the rest of my fresh squeezed lime in there. Lime juice is usually going to stay fresh for about 2-3 days. You can sometimes get a week out of it, but then you're going to notice that it starts turning sour. No more, I would say, like the 5 days, probably that maximum cutoff window. There have been times where I've gotten like the 5-6 days. I'll do a mouth test on it, and it's still decent. But once you get that, like you make that face, like when you do some lime, like a lime check, and you just toss it and make some fresh ones. But for fresh squeezed, you can get about a nice 2-3 days. Not any problems with that. So, all right, let's start here. I'm going to go with my classic recipe here. So we'll grab our shaker and we're going to fill it with some ice. All right, so the measurements that I usually do, first off, I'll start with 1.5 ounces of your Blanco Tequila. Okay. Now, if you want to use a reposado, you can use a reposado. I like the Blanco. If you're going to do a reposado, then you have to maybe go with like your Grand Marnier or something along those lines, like like the Cointreau for your liqueur. But yeah, just keep 1.5 ounces. And if you want to double it up, feel free to double it up. But if you double up the tequila, then you have to double up all the rest of the ingredients. So we're going to do 1 part and then half part for the tequila and the lime. So we're going to do 3/4 ounce of the lime juice. And you can actually go up to 1 ounce if you want. If you like that little more of the tartness, a little more sour, you can go up to 1 ounce. Anything more than 1 ounce of lime juice, and it's just going to be unbalanced, and it's not going to taste good. So I usually like to keep it with 1.5 to 3/4, 1 to half parts. That's always good. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some triple sec, and we're only going to do 1/2 ounce of the triple sec. And then to top it off, I'm going to go with fresh agave nectar. So this is, a lot of people can use simple syrup. I find that using the agave gives it just another elevated taste to your margarita. So you can, if you're shopping around, this is usually any baking aisle in Jewel, Walmart, Meijer. You can find this. There's also this brand. Sometimes when you see agave nectar, you'll see dark and you're light. Like if you see Goya, their agave nectar is more lighter in color. I personally don't like that with the lighter. I feel like it just throws off the sweetness and the balance for your margarita. So I always recommend going with the darker agave, just because it's just something with the extra sugars in there that just makes it much more of a balanced cocktail than the lighter agave. So make sure you'll find the dark agave, and if you're asking what's the difference, you'll notice it when you see it right away. It's a very lightish brown as opposed to this being a dark brown. So we're going to do 1/2 ounce. You don't need to go anything more than 1/2 ounce of this. This stuff can get otherwise your cocktail is going to get super sweet then. So just keep 1/2 ounce of the triple sec. If you want to use Cointreau, that's fine. You can use it if you want a little more elevated. Even if you wanted some Grand Marnier, you can do that as well. But I like to just keep it for the basic house margarita. I like to use just triple sec. So those 4 ingredients, we'll give it a quick shake. All right. And then you need, of course, a great margarita glass. And I have these very nice Yucatan style blown glass, like margarita glasses. So you can also use something, if you want to go like a little fancier, you can go with like a small glass like this. But this is really nice for doing a margarita. So we'll just grab our strainer. And these glasses here, they actually hold a lot of like alcohol. So if you want to double this up, you'll get a full. Sometimes I'll ask people when they want a margarita, you want a single or double. This holds 3 ounces of tequila very well. So then only thing you need after that would be a nice little garnish. And we're just going to cut a. And if you don't want to do the garnish, you don't have to do the garnish. It's completely up to you, but just add the wheel like that. And there you go. That is the classic house margarita. You'll notice there's a nice deep color on that. Some people, when you order a margarita out, it's going to be lighter in color because they're probably using a mix. When you have this and you have the fresh lime and you have agave in it, you're going to get this nice, like deep greenish color on there, and those are deadly. That's dangerous because they are so sneaky good. You don't get a lot of the acidity. You don't taste tequila. It's heaven in a glass. So that is my classic house margarita for National Margarita Day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make it at home. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I will be back next week, or maybe another week, but we'll see. I'll be back soon with another episode of Behind the Bar with HBIC. Cheers.
Are you tired of getting the same old bourbon sitting on the shelf? Looking for something to impress your bourbon friends with? Then head over to Green Valley Wine and Spirits in Bolingbrook and grab one of our single barrel bourbon bum store picks. We've got a 9-year Knob Creek bourbon, an 8-year Knob Creek rye whiskey, and our ever popular Nulu Toasted Wheated. That's right, toasted wheated. So head out to Green Valley Wine and Spirits or message one of the bums. But hurry, because once these bottles go, they're gone forever. Become a bourbon bum today.